Has this ever happened to you? Arriving at a brand new school in a brand new neighborhood on the first day? You don't know a single person. You want to get acquainted, but you don't quite know how to go about it. You decide to wait a while and see what happens.
Hey, there's a new boy.
Uh-oh.
Hi, you're new here, aren't you?
Remember the last school? Maybe these three are here to pick a fight. You have to be careful.
What's it to you?
That was the wrong thing to say. You thought they were troublemakers, and because of the way you answered, they now think you are a troublemaker. Have you ever had an experience like this and wished that you could have a second chance, a chance to do things right? If you could have a second chance, let's see what might have happened. This time, you don't expect the worst.
Hi, you're new here, aren't you? That's right. My name's Jeff Martin. My name's Jack Boyer. This is Bob Reynolds and Herb White.
It was such a simple thing when you had a second chance to say and do the right thing. The only trouble is you can't relive the moments in which you make mistakes. It's important to learn what to do and say the first time. Of course, you have to be aware of what you might be doing wrong before you can improve. Perhaps you are like this boy, a really nice person who just doesn't know how to return a greeting. So you respond with a cold nod of the head, or at most a mumbled reply. The person who receives such a greeting gets the idea that you're a grouch. And if you do it to enough people, often enough, you'll begin to wonder why others are so unfriendly to you. Perhaps you are guilty of still another lack of skill in greeting people. Have you ever met someone and waited for that person to speak first? If the other person doesn't speak, and if you don't speak, each of you may form the wrong opinion of the other. The need for an introduction can occur anytime, anywhere. Do you recognize those occasions?
I thought you might like a ride home. I sure do. I hate to wait for the bus. I don't believe I've met your mother, Mary. Oh, this isn't my mother. This is Mrs. Fredericks, our next-door neighbor. Oh.
If you fail to introduce people, you can't blame them for jumping to the wrong conclusion. It can be embarrassing. Perhaps you don't know what to say when you're introduced to someone new. You lack ease and assurance in your manner.
I guess you two don't know each other. Tommy Burke, this is Ted Hall. Hi, Ted.
Because you lack confidence in yourself, you don't bother to even answer a friendly greeting. If you are like this boy, or if any of these difficulties in exchanging greetings or introductions apply to you, it should be clear that you need to improve your ability. Your failure to reply shows that you don't know that the reason for exchanging greetings and introductions is simply to show courtesy and consideration for others. The situation determines the type of greeting or introduction, formal or informal, that you should use. A ball game gives us an example of an informal greeting.
Hello, Johnny. Hi. Have you missed much of the game? Only 3 or 4 minutes.
In some situations, with people that you know well, informal behavior is correct. Even in informal introductions, a girl's name is usually mentioned first.
Kathy, this is my best friend, Bruce. Kathy is my cousin from Colorado. How are you?
It's a good idea to supply some information about each person you are introducing. You use the formal type of greeting or introduction in situations that are outside your family or circle of very close friends. For example,
Dr. Sears, I want you to meet my son, Stuart.
How do you do, Dr. Sears?
Hi, Stuart. Real nice to meet you, sir.
Formal introductions are necessary in many situations. Let's look at a few typical examples that you may encounter. Suppose your school is having an open house for parents. If your teacher and your parents have never met, it's up to you to make the introductions.
Hi, Janet. How are you? Fine. Mrs. Stevens, I'd like you to meet my parents, Sister and Mrs. Saunders.
How do you do? I'm very glad you
It's proper to mention first the name of the person you wish to honor. Since the teacher is outside of your family, her name is mentioned first. Your parents and your teacher have a common interest to discuss, your education. In other situations, however...
Dad, I'd like to introduce you to Tommy's father. Mr. Carson, this is my father, Mr. Perry.
How do you do?
In this case, the introduction of total strangers may end with an awkward silence unless you provide a topic of mutual interest.
Tommy Carson plays first base on our ball team, Dad.
Well, he must be the boy that set up that double play last Friday. Say, for a boy his age, he's quite a ball player.
Well, I guess it runs in the family. I've always been a fan and used to play some in the old days.
Was that so?
With your help, even total strangers can find something to talk about. When making formal introductions, you should observe several rules of courtesy.
Mr. Gator, I'd like to introduce my friend, Steve Bailey.
When introducing a young person to an older person, you should show respect for age by saying the older person's name first. If one of the persons you are introducing is a person of distinction, you should honor him by mentioning his name first.
Judge Parker, this is my cousin, Susan Dryden.
Well, hi, Susan. Are you going to school this morning?
Someday, perhaps very soon, you will have the opportunity to introduce someone to your class or to some other large group of people.
But it's a very special treat. Jimmy has brought a visitor to our class. Jimmy, would you like to introduce our visitor?
Yes, please. When our class started studying about South America, I thought about my uncle, who has spent a lot of time there. He travels in South America for an oil company and knows a lot about life in South America.
Next, it is proper courtesy to present a speaker by first addressing the teacher, the class, and finally the guest of honor. His name is given last so the audience can remember it.
Mrs. Stevens, class, I'd like to introduce my uncle, Mr. Charles Blake.
Thank you, Jimmy. Mrs. Stevens, members of the class,
Since Jimmy has explained his uncle's background of experience in South America, the members of the class clearly understand that he speaks with authority on the subject. Greetings and introductions will always play an important part in your life. Every day you will have an occasion to greet someone, to introduce yourself, or to introduce others. Here are some basic rules to help you. Be sincere. If someone says hello, do what is natural. Say hi or hello right back to him. If you feel that you should show more respect, answer a greeting with, how do you do? In introductions, be sure to speak each person's name clearly. If you don't understand, ask that the name be repeated. If you are introducing yourself, add some personal identifying remark. The same rule applies when introducing other people. It helps people remember as well as start the conversation. When introducing strangers, try to make a remark that will help to start a conversation. When introducing a boy and a girl, the name of the girl should be given first. When introducing an older person to a younger person, give the older person's name first. Show respect for your elders. If you introduce someone to your class, show courtesy by addressing the teacher and the class before you introduce the speaker. The guest's name should be given last so others will remember it. Other people will notice your skill in following these simple but important rules. Greetings and introductions serve to put people at ease, to make them feel welcome. You will be admired if you master the simple skills of exchanging greetings and introductions. Practice different kinds of introductions at school, at home, and with your classmates. As you continue to practice, you will gain confidence and self-assurance, valuable assets to carry with you throughout your entire lifetime.